Somebody asks me this almost every single week at the shop. Is Cadillac any good, or am I about to make a mistake? And every time, I give them the same honest answer. It's not about the brand. It's about which specific Cadillac is sitting in front of you, what year it is, and what happened to it before you ever saw the listing. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through everything I've learned answering that question for real customers, real budgets, and real driveways. Why these cars get so cheap, which ones I would actually buy with my own money, which ones make me slow down and ask more questions, what genuinely costs money to maintain, and the one mistake I see more than any other, the one that costs people more than every mechanical problem on this list combined. Let's get into it. Why most people get used Cadillacs wrong. Most people approach a used Cadillac the same way they approach a used BMW or a used Mercedes. They assume the badge tells them what they need to know. It doesn't. Cadillac is not one car. It's a brand that has gone through more engineering eras, more reliability swings, and more reinvention than almost any other manufacturer on the road today. A 2008 Cadillac and a 2018 Cadillac can be built on completely different platforms, with completely different engines, completely different transmissions, and completely different reliability records. Treating them as the same purchase decision is the first mistake most buyers make. The second mistake is assuming reputation equals reality. Cadillac picked up a rough reputation over a 15-year stretch, and that reputation is stuck to cars built well after the actual problems were fixed. I see this every week. Someone walks away from a perfectly good Cadillac because they heard something about a Cadillac their neighbor owned a decade ago that has nothing to do with the car sitting in front of them. The third mistake, and this is the big one, is shopping by mileage instead of shopping by history. We're going to come back to this one because it might be the single most expensive misunderstanding in the entire used car market, not just with Cadillac. Let me give you some context on where the reputation actually came from, because understanding the history helps you understand which cars to actually worry about. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Cadillac's Northstar V8 developed a well-documented head gasket problem, caused by a head bolt design that couldn't handle the heat cycling these engines went through over time. Word got around. Repair bills got expensive, and because that generation of Cadillac was sold in real volume, a lot of people had a direct or secondhand experience with it. Then, separately, in the mid-2010s, Cadillac rolled out an 8-speed automatic transmission across several models that developed a reputation for harsh shifting and hesitation under certain conditions. Around the same time, the Q infotainment system launched, with touchscreen reliability problems that frustrated a lot of owners. 3 different problems, 3 different eras, 3 different root causes, but to someone shopping the used market without context, it all blends into one impression: Cadillacs break. That impression is not entirely wrong, but it is incomplete. It treats 15 years of evolving engineering as if it were a single, unchanging product. It's not. Why used Cadillacs get so cheap? Now here's something almost nobody explains clearly. Cadillacs lose value faster than their German competition. A lot faster. A Cadillac that sold for $70,000 new can be sitting on a lot 5 years later for $20,000, sometimes less. A comparable BMW or Mercedes from the same year holds on to considerably more of its original price. And why does this happen? Part of it's brand recognition, rightly or wrongly. The market still treats a German badge as the safer bet, even when the data doesn't always support that. Part of it is the corporate and fleet sales that move a large number of Cadillacs through rental and lease channels, which floods the used market with high mileage examples and drags down resale values across the board. And part of it, honestly, is the reputation problem we just talked about. Buyers are nervous about Cadillac maintenance costs, so they pay less for the car up front, regardless of what that specific car's actual ownership cost will be. But here's why it matters to you. This steep depreciation is not bad news if you're buying. It's the single biggest advantage available to you in the entire used luxury market right now. You're getting the cabin, the technology, the ride quality, and in many cases, the actual mechanical durability of a car that cost 3 times as much when it left the factory. The depreciation already happened. Somebody else paid for it. You get to benefit from it. This is honestly why I think Cadillac is one of the most misunderstood brands in the entire used car market. People do not avoid the bad Cadillacs, they avoid all Cadillacs. And that overcorrection is exactly why the good ones become such incredible values. The market isn't pricing these cars based on what they actually are. It's basing them based on a reputation that for a lot of these models simply does not apply anymore. The Cadillacs I would actually buy? I'm not going to give you 10 options. I want to give you 4 that I would put my own money behind and tell you honestly what each one is good for. The 2014 through 2019 Cadillac CTS. This is the one I recommend most often, and for good reason. It's the most balanced Cadillac sedan from this era. Sharp to drive, beautifully finished inside, and when equipped with the naturally aspirated 3.6 V6, it has a genuinely strong reliability record. Depending on mileage and condition, I usually see clean examples trading somewhere between $12,000 and $22,000. What to check before buying one? Verify the timing chain has either been inspected or shows no cold start noise. And ask about transmission fluid service history on the 8-speed automatic. This is a car for someone who wants something that drives like a genuine sports sedan but lives like a Cadillac. One problem I see consistently with the CTS from these years, the cars that age well are almost always the ones where the original owner kept up with oil changes on a 5,000-mile schedule, rather than stretching to the Oil Life Monitor's recommendation. It's a small habit that makes a measurable difference by the time a car crosses 100,000 miles. The 2017 through 2022 Cadillac XT5. If my own sister asked me which Cadillac to start with, this is probably the one I would point her towards first. If you want the most universally livable Cadillac on this list, this is it. 5 seats, real cargo space, a naturally aspirated V6 that doesn't carry the complexity of a turbocharged engine, and an interior that strikes a good balance between modern technology and classic Cadillac comfort. Clean examples typically run somewhere between $15,000 and $28,000, depending on year and trim. This is the Cadillac I point families toward more than any other model in the lineup. What makes the XT5 different from the SRX it replaced is not just styling. Cadillac genuinely improved the underlying reliability between these two generations, and the used market's been slow to fully reflect that. A lot of buyers still associate Cadillac crossovers with the SRX's documented issues, which keeps XT5 pricing more reasonable than it probably should be, given how the ownership data actually looks. The 2015 through 2020 Cadillac Escalade. If you need a full-size SUV and you want the Cadillac badge to mean something on the road, this is still the answer. It's not the cheapest vehicle to own. Fuel costs are real, and the 6.2 V8 in these years deserves a proper maintenance schedule. But the presence, the comfort, and the capability are hard to match. Depending on mileage and condition, I typically see these trading somewhere between $25,000 and $45,000. Buy one with documented oil change history and you're getting one of the most genuinely impressive vehicles on the entire used market. The thing I tell every Escalade buyer is this: the engine in these years is fundamentally solid when it's fed clean oil on a consistent schedule. Most of the expensive Escalade horror stories you read online trace back to deferred maintenance, not a flaw in the truck itself. Ask for oil change records specifically. If the seller can't produce them, treat that absence as information, not a minor inconvenience. The 2014 through 2018 Cadillac XTS. This one doesn't get enough credit. If comfort is your priority over everything else, the XTS delivers a ride quality that genuinely surprises people who've never driven one. Long wheelbase, soft suspension, a cabin that insulates you from the outside world in the way a Cadillac is supposed to. Clean examples usually sit somewhere around $8,000 to $16,000, which, for what you're getting, is one of the better values in the entire used luxury market right now. The Cadillacs I would think twice about. I'm not going to tell you to avoid these entirely. I'm going to tell you why I personally would slow down and look harder before signing anything. The 2010 through 2012 Cadillac SRX. The styling holds up, the interior's comfortable, but this generation carries documented timing chain and transmission concerns that show up often enough to matter. If you find one with a complete service history and proof the relevant maintenance was done, it can still be a reasonable buy. Without that history, I would keep looking. Depending on condition, these typically run somewhere between $6,000 and $14,000. And the lower end of that range usually reflects unknown maintenance history more than the car's actual condition. The 2013 and 2014 Cadillac ATS with the 2-liter turbo. The ATS is a genuinely good driving car and I like recommending it, but the earliest examples of the turbocharged 4-cylinder had real issues that Cadillac corrected in later production years. If you're looking at a 2013 or 2014 with the turbo engine, I want to see service records before I want to see the car. Clean examples generally run $8,000 to $16,000 depending on year and trim, with the corrected later years commanding a fair premium for good reason. The older Northstar-era cars. DeVille's, Sevilles, and STS models from the early 2000s. I'm not going to spend a lot of time being dramatic about these. The reputation around the early Northstar V8 is well known and it is largely earned. If you come across one of these with immaculate service records and clear evidence that the relevant maintenance was actually done, it can still be a reasonable, inexpensive way into a comfortable American luxury car. Without that documentation, this is the one category on this list I would walk away from more often than not. These typically sell for $4,000 to $10,000, and that low price usually reflects exactly what you would expect it to. What actually costs money? This is the part most people get wrong in both directions. They either assume every Cadillac is a money pit, or they assume a Cadillac costs the same to maintain as a Toyota. Neither is accurate. I had 2 XT5s in the shop in the same week not long ago. Same year, similar mileage. One owner had documentation going back to day one and walked out with an oil change and a clean bill of health. The other had no records at all, and we found a transmission that badly needed the fluid service it had clearly never gotten. Same car on paper, 2 completely different ownership experiences, and neither one had anything to do with the Cadillac badge. The boring stuff is genuinely not scary. Oil changes typically run somewhere between $100 and $150. Brake jobs are usually in the $400 to $600 range. These are normal luxury car maintenance costs, not the reason Cadillac has the reputation it has. The expensive stuff lives in a specific category, and once you know what that is, you know exactly what to ask about before buying. Magnetic ride control suspension components can run into real money if they need replacement. Air suspension systems found on some of the larger sedans and SUVs carry similar risk. The Q infotainment system on cars from roughly 2013 through 2017 has a well-documented history of screen failures, and replacing a unit can run over $1,000. Timing chain issues on certain V6 applications can mean a repair in the $2,000 to $3,000 range if caught early, more if ignored. And transmission service, particularly on the 8-speed automatics used across much of the lineup in the mid-2010s, is something you want documented because skipping it can lead to expensive shutter and hard shift complaints down the road. None of these are reasons to avoid Cadillac entirely. They're reasons to ask specific questions before you buy, instead of finding out after. Here's a simple way to think about it. Tires for a performance-oriented Cadillac or a full-size SUV like the Escalade can run over $1,000 for a full set, more than most people expect when budgeting for a used luxury car. If you're planning to own one of these long-term, I generally tell people to budget somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a year for maintenance, beyond fuel and insurance. That number sounds like a lot until you compare it to what a single deferred repair on a neglected example can cost. Spend the smaller amount consistently, and you almost never face the larger one. The biggest mistake buyers make? Here's the mistake that costs people more money than any single mechanical issue on this entire list. They shop by mileage instead of shopping by history. I would take a Cadillac with 180,000 miles in complete documented service history over a Cadillac with 70,000 miles and no records at all. Every single time. The low mileage car with no history is not a mystery you're solving. It's a mystery you are inheriting. You have no idea whether the oil was changed on schedule, whether the transmission fluid was ever touched, whether a cold start noise was investigated or ignored for 3 years before the car was sold. Mileage tells you how far a car has traveled. History tells you how it was treated along the way. On a Cadillac, specifically, where so many of the expensive failures trace back directly to deferred maintenance rather than inherent design flaws, history is the number that actually matters. I've watched this play out the same way more times than I can count. A buyer brings me 2 options to compare. One has low mileage and a clean appearance, but the seller can't say when the transmission fluid was last serviced or whether a cold start noise was ever investigated. The other has triple the mileage, a folder of maintenance receipts going back to day one, and a seller who can answer every question without hesitation. The high mileage car with the documentation is almost always the safer purchase, and it's not close. If you remember one thing from this entire video, make it this: ask for service records before you ask about price. A seller who has them and shares them freely is telling you something important about how that car was treated. A seller who gets vague or defensive when you ask is telling you something important too. Before we get to the final verdict, if you're seriously considering any of the models we just talked about, I put together a free Cadillac buyer red flag checklist with the exact things I inspect before recommending any used Cadillac to a customer. The suspension systems to verify, the transmission behavior to listen for, the recalls to run before you drive anywhere. Print it out before you go look at a car. First link in the description. So, should you buy one? If you want a car that will never ask you for a dime beyond gas and tires, a used Cadillac is probably not the right purchase. No used luxury vehicle from any brand fits that description honestly, and anyone telling you otherwise is not being straight with you. But if you're willing to spend a little extra time finding the right example, requesting the service history before you fall in love with the price, and avoiding the temptation to buy the cheapest option on the lot just because it's the cheapest option on the lot, a used Cadillac can put you in a level of comfort, technology, and road presence that is genuinely difficult to find anywhere else at the same price point. The math genuinely works in your favor if you do this right. You're buying a car that someone else paid the steepest depreciation on. You're getting features and materials that would cost considerably more in a comparably equipped Lexus or Audi. The only thing standing between you and a great purchase is patience and a willingness to walk away from a car that looks perfect but can't answer basic questions about its own history. Over 20 years, I've seen Cadillacs fall apart before 80,000 miles, and I've seen others cross 250,000, even 300,000 without drama. The difference was almost never the emblem on the hood. It was almost always what happened to the car in the years before you found it. If this helped you understand Cadillac a little better, let me know which model from today you're considering in the comments. I read every one. Subscribe for more real-world Cadillac buying advice every week.